Thoughts on Jack Nicholson? Thoughts on Denzel Washington? Thoughts on Jim Carrey? Thoughts on Kevin Spacey? Ooh! Best Johnny Depp film? Oh, that's a hard one. Like again, my gut wants to be Nightmare on Elm Street because that's where I remember him from the most. But it's most likely the best Johnny Depp film. Most likely is either Edward Scissorhands or one of the Disney films, Pirates of the Caribbean. Best Leonardo DiCaprio film is Django Unchained. Candy in Candyland is perfection. Thoughts on Jim Carrey? I felt like Jim Carrey would be a better serious actor than he is a comedian actor. Like I've always wanted this. I've always wanted him to reboot the movie Death Wish and have Jim Carrey be Paul Kersey, because I feel like he could portray that character well, right? Have Jim Carrey being that normal everyday guy that gets pushed to the edge where he wants to be a vigilante. Gene Wilder did Charlie and the Chocolate Factory better, but like I think Johnny Depp is a better actor than Gene Wilder. Best Batman actor? Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton is Batman. Thoughts on Denzel Washington? Training Day is the GOAT. Like I like a lot of Denzel movies. I like Unstoppable. I like Training Day. I like The First Equalizer. I mean Denzel picks his roles well. John Q's a masterpiece. American Gangster, another great movie. Yeah, there's bad Denzel Washington movies too. Unstoppable's a bad Denzel Washington movie. I just happen to like it. Favorite director? I think Quentin Tarantino might be my favorite director, because like 9 times out of 10 Quentin Tarantino's going to throw you a banger. It's hard to go into a Tarantino movie and not be entertained at least at some portion of the movie. Tarantino don't make bad movies. I mean, Kubrick made bad movies. Like I know some people criticize me, because Kubrick did like 2001. He did like The Shining. He did, all these great movies like Full Metal Jacket. But let's also remember Kubrick also did what was that movie he made in the 90s? What is the name of that one called? Eyes Wide Shut. Yeah. I hated Eyes Wide Shut. Thoughts on Jack Nicholson? He was great in The Shining. I don't think he's as good an actor as people make him out to be. I never liked any, Nicole Kidman was good in Top Gun, and that was it. Nicole Kidman, I don't know. I'm not a big fan. Thoughts on Kevin Spacey? He was amazing in Seven and K-Pac. I also loved him in American Beauty. I think he's a disgusting person though. Was Nicole Kidman not in Top Gun? Ooh, Baby Driver. I love Baby Driver. Every time I see The Last Samurai, I think of the Paul Mooney. I'm gonna write me a picture. We'll star Tom Hanks. That's Kim Basinger in LA Confidential. Best shootout in film history was Heat? Huh. The shootout I remember the most was Scarface remake. Tony Montana. That's up there. I mean, there's also the shootout scene in The Magnificent Seven. There's also the horse riding. There's also the shootout scene in Open Range. I think the shootout scene in Open Range is fucking great as well. I don't think people remember Open Range though. Did I see what El Presador said about the fight? No, and nobody else did either, except you. My favorite Limp Bizkit song, Boiler. Boiler is my favorite Limp Bizkit song. I mean, the final shootout in Gran Torino was just sad. How's that great? I understood it. It was a good ending, but it was a sad ending. It's kind of like Million Dollar Baby. I can't watch Million Dollar Baby without crying. Ooh, shootout scenes. How we think the greatest shootout scenes and not bring up Unforgiven? God, Unforgiven is such a good movie. My favorite Western, and I might have just named it. Let me think about it for a second. No, it's The Good and the Bad and the Ugly. Favorite Western is The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. Unforgiven's probably number 2 though. And then is Django considered a Western? Because it might be number 3. Favorite Natalie Portman film? V for Vendetta. Favorite scene for V for Vendetta is the Rose scene. It's so well done. You going with The Professional? Professional was a good movie, but the only thing I really remember about The Professional was that scene where the SWAT team is coming into his house and he's hiding above the door and he closes the door behind them and kills them and then opens the door back up. Star Wars prequels? I'm gonna say nay. I went and seen all the Star Wars prequels when they came out in theaters, right? Because I didn't make the original movies, but I made the prequels, and I fell asleep during the Attack of the Clones, and then I woke up toward the end when they actually clones and all came, and then they made Jango Fett to be out this human fucking badass that they wanted to make all the stormtroopers at, and then Mace Windu killed him in a nanosecond. Right, but they could have had a better fight scene. than like Jango Fett literally getting hit by this rhino thing and then Mace Windu just literally giving his back up to him in a fight and cutting his head off. Because like in the books, Boba Fett grows up to hunt down most of the Jedi himself. Him and Anakin kill most of the Jedi off. Favorite Pedro Pascal movie? Honestly, I didn't know he existed until The Last of Us. And I'm still on the fence about The Last of Us as a TV series. It's a good watch, but like it skips so much in the book. Like they have to have like a bang ass ending for it to be like, yeah, this was a good rendition of The Last of Us. Because right now they're just skipping everything. Like think about it. Like you've seen how many fights with infected? 3, possibly 4. They like Henry and Sam's section was completely skipped. They took out Henry and Sam. Like they took out they made Sam deaf for some reason. Like they took out them like I don't understand it. I like the sniper scene, for example. The sniper scene I thought was going to be this big epic action scene, which it kind of was, but like I was talking about more for when Joel getting up to the sniper. But literally he's like, Joel's like, I'll take care of this, stay down. And next thing you know, he's like taking care of the sniper. They don't even show him get to the house. They did do some things I liked. I loved the Bill and Frank change. I thought that was a good change. Well, it's better written than they did it in the video game. The video game, Frank got like bitten because he was mad at Bill, and he was on the other side of town, and he ended up hanging himself instead of turning. Like and like at the end he didn't even like apologize. He said he hated his guts in the letter. I feel like them like living their life out and choosing to like die together in old age because one of them got cancer. It's a much more satisfying and fulfilling conclusion to their storyline than Bill just being stuck in a town by himself, and you know the one person he actually cared about in life, you know, died hating him. You know, like the game is way bleaker. Favorite Mad Max movie? Fury Road. Anybody that tells you that Fury Road isn't the best Mad Max movie is an idiot. That's not even an opinion. The fun thing about Fury Road is like George Miller wants to do another one before he gets too old, but they don't want to make it. But like they don't want to push him to do it. Dude, Road Warrior is a good movie. It's an iconic movie. But like Fury Road's a masterpiece. Like there will be people talking about Fury Road 25, 30 years from now. Which probably the Road Warrior too, but not so much. Because like Fury Road's so beautiful. It took the most simple concept. It's a film that shouldn't exist in a time that it was. 2015, in a movie that had real cars with real practical effects, with very limited CGI. And the whole film takes place on like one big chase. They literally like drive out to the swamp and realize that what they're looking for isn't there, and turn around and go back to the place they started at. The bad thing about the Mad Max video game is that they put the video game out before the movie, and they like Warner Brothers literally took like all the stuff they owned because they own the rights to they own the rights to the Mad Max franchise, and put in a bunch of like spoilery shit, like the War Boys and everything like that, before Fury Road came out into the game. What else did Reddit say today? I don't know what you're talking about, Zach. I can see you, Max. Did I like The Mist? I love The Mist. Speaking about The Mist, and the connection between this is they wanted to shoot The Mist in black and white, and like the studio told them no. So like it had to be shot in color, and that reminds me of a movie called Clerks. Clerks is one of the funniest movies ever made, and just how my brain works. Dude. The only movie I ever snuck into was Terminator 3, and that was a terrible choice. I was like 16 or 17 when Terminator 3 came out, and there was this bitch that wouldn't let me in. Like my friend Kelly, he was 18 at the time, and I was like 17, I think, or I was like 16 about to turn 17. Ghost ain't real, dude. Max, what do you need, buddy? What do you need, Max? Favorite Clint Eastwood movie? There's a lot of good Clint Eastwood movies. I'll tell you, my most disappointing Clint Eastwood movie was The Mule. Like Trouble with a Curve is a really good movie. Unforgiven's a really good movie. The Good and the Bad and the Ugly is a really good movie. Pretty much all the Sergio Leone movies are really, really good. Outlaw Josie Wells. Like I loved a lot of the spaghetti western movies that Clint Eastwood was in. Gran Torino. Like I'm gonna go with Unforgiven, but like there's a lot of good Clint Eastwood movies. See, that's why I ignored it, Max. The video's gonna come out when it comes out. No, I didn't see Cocaine Bear. I heard Cocaine Bear sucked, so I didn't waste my time, because like everything in life is expensive now. I tried to save my money. I mean, I've been spending a little more freely this last week because Kelly's been sick and I don't cook. But like, yeah, I've been having like Kelly can put some ice cream away because she had some teeth removed, and like mashed potatoes and ice cream's all she's been wanting. Gas actually went down here. I think last time I put gas in my truck it was $55 and it was $2.82. So we're paying for gas right now in South Carolina, $2.82 for 86. I think it's like $3.10 for like premium. It's like a little over $4 for diesel here. There was a movie I seen, forgot what it is. It it was kind of like The Strangers, but like this couple was like stuck in a house, and I seen it in theaters. But I forgot the name of this movie, and but they like literally around the house the whole time. And at the end of the movie, they have like this bear trap they like put on this guy's head, and it like latches onto his head. I forgot the name of that movie. There's another movie I've always wanted to watch again, but I forgot what it was. I know it was in an anthology movie, and I've looked for this a few times. But the movie was like this guy like he robbed a bank with like two other people, and he ended up shooting the other two people, and he like tried to escape into the swamp, but he got shot by one of the people he shot. So he was like dying, and he ends up floating up to this houseboat where this old black voodoo man's there, and this black voodoo man has this vial that makes you immortal, and he sees this man dying, and he takes a risk and helps him out and gives him immortality, and like he nurses him back to health and everything like that. And the thief who had lost all his money because in the shootout with his partners, I don't know, like it's set in a swamp, man. I've always wanted to know what the name of that movie is again. I've wanted to watch it again. I remember renting it on VHS when I was a kid, and I've never found it again. I know at the end of the movie, he ends up trying to steal the formula for the immortality so he could sell it and make money. And the black man ends up catching him, and he like cuts all his arms and legs off and like sets him on fire. And since he can't die because he's immortal now, he has to live the rest of his life like bandaged up. And like the end of the movie, he's like crying, knowing that he can't die in the hospital. Back when I was growing up, we had like VHS stores, and they had like huge VHS horror sections, and you could rent 5 tapes for 5 nights for $5.25. And my grandparents on the weekend would give me like $20 to do whatever I wanted with, and I'd always go rent 5 tapes, and I'd rent a game, and that would come out to be like $11, and then we would get like chips and like 2-liter sodas and stuff, and I'd invite a friend over, and we would sit there, play the game we rented, and watch movies all weekend. Yeah, it does feel like yesterday. No, it's not The Serpent and the Rainbow. I know what The Serpent and the Rainbow is. I remember the movie that we hated the most. The movie we hated the most was a Julian Sands vehicle called The Vampire Diaries, I think. Was it The Vampire Diaries? Or Diary of a Vampire? I think it was Diary of a Vampire with Julian Sands. That was the worst movie I've seen in all my rents. Interview with the Vampire is good. That's a good movie. I watched The Green Inferno in theaters. Green Inferno is a love letter to Cannibal Holocaust, which I don't know why anybody would want to do a love letter to Cannibal Holocaust, because it was like one of the edgy films from like the 1970s, early 80s. I think it was late 70s, early 80s. But like they killed a whole bunch of animals in the movie, and it was originally called The Green Inferno, and like then like Eli Roth made a movie called The Green Inferno because it was Cannibal Holocaust was called The Green Inferno before they changed the name to Cannibal Holocaust. Cabin Fever was not a good movie, and I'm surprised they remade. Did you guys know they've remade Cabin Fever? Did you ever see Cannibal Ferox? That was the spinoff of Cannibal Holocaust. How about all those old Stuart Gordon movies like From Beyond and like Reanimator? And I love Stuart Gordon movies. I always thought, did they not sequel Reanimator? I always thought they had like a movie called Bride of Reanimator in my head, but I don't think that's a real thing. Scariest movie I've ever seen? Like, that's subjective, man. Like, so there is a movie called Bride of Reanimator. Okay, so I wasn't like losing my mind, because I'm almost certain I've watched a movie called Bride of Reanimator. Woman in Black's a British horror movie. Like, it's a different type of ghost story. It's kind of like Japanese ghost stories are much different than like American ghost stories. Am I scared of getting older? No, I feel it. Trust me, I feel it. How old was that anthology movie? What I guess I couldn't tell you how old that anthology movie was, because like the VHS was really, really, really grainy. It was in color. But I would say it was late 70s, early 80s. Like if I had to guess, but it could just been a bad cassette tape. Rest, I will do anything they want to pay me real money for. I think Yoo-Hoos are delicious. Dude, Paranormal Activity, the original movie, like all the other movies kind of sucked, but like the original one, it's okay, make time. We're actually about to end the stream. I'm Audi 5000.